Hello everyone, Jacob here. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about this structure right here. I thought that plus a full sentence. All right, and we use this structure when something is different. When something is different than expected. Okay, so basically, when something is different than kind of you originally thought, different than expected. All right, and let's look at the first way to use this structure. So we'll say thought I thought that plus subject, verb, object, but the verb will be in the past tense. So I'm putting that in green because that means that you have to put it in the past tense, or in Korean, you say 과거. All right? And if you're using the structure like this, then it basically translates to 뭐뭐 한 줄, 뭐뭐 한 줄 알다, 뭐뭐 한 줄 알았어, usually. All right? So actually, I'm just going to write 뭐뭐 한 줄 알았어. All right, so let's go ahead and look at our first example. I thought you were sick. I thought you were sick, or I thought that you were sick. The that is often omitted, so I decided to omit it in this sentence. I just left it out. I thought you were sick. So here we have you, which is the subject, were, which is the past tense of the verb to be, and then we have sick, which I guess actually isn't really an object, it's an adjective, but that's another way that you can use this structure. You could say like, subject to be, adjective. All right, so I thought you were sick in Korean will mean 아픈 줄 알았어. All right, and what does this mean? Basically, this means that you're not sick, but I thought that you were sick. I almost expected you to be sick. So imagine, I don't know, you come to school one day and you realize that your friend is actually not sick, even though maybe he had sent you a text message or he had told you before that he was sick. So in this case, you might say, "Oh, I thought you were sick. What happened? You're not sick." All right, and this in Korean means again, 아픈 줄 알았어. All right, so this is our first example. We're using it with an adjective. Let's see another example. And in this case, I'm going to use it with a noun. He thought I was a student. He thought I was a student. So up here, I put I thought that, or in both of these cases, I put I, but actually you can change I to a different subject. You could say he, you could say she, you could say my mom, it doesn't matter. It could be any subject up here, but generally it's true that, it tends to be I, so that's why I put that up here. I thought that plus subject, verb, object. But anyway, here it says he thought that I was a student. So again, he thought that, I'm omitting the that, I left it out again. I is the subject, was is the past tense of the verb to be. So again, make sure that when you're using this structure, if you want this meaning here, then you have to put the verb in the past tense, okay? So was the past tense of be, and then a student. So here we're using it with a noun. All right, so let me just I'm going to just underline those verbs in the past tense, since that's really, really important. All right, and in Korean, what does this sentence mean? 그는 나를 학생인 줄 알았어. All right, so here now we have two pretty basic examples, and I just want to give you one more, one last example, another pretty straightforward example, just to make sure that you understand. I thought that it rained. I thought that it rained. Okay, so again, here, I thought that plus a full sentence. And what does this mean in Korean? This means 비가 온 줄 알았어. All right, so that's three examples now, three pretty straightforward, simple examples. I don't really want to go into any really complicated examples today, just because I want you guys to just understand the basic concept. So this is the first way to use this structure. I thought that plus a full sentence where the verb is in the past tense, 과거, and this will mean 뭐뭐 한 줄 알았어. But there are actually different ways to kind of use this structure. You could also say 뭐뭐 하는 줄 알았어. So let's go ahead and look down at how we would say that in English. In this case, you would say I thought that, again, that is often omitted, so I'm going to put that in parentheses. I thought that plus subject, and then again, verb, and then object. So another full sentence, but here the tense will be a little bit different. Instead of just the normal past, you will put the, I don't even know what it's called in English, but in Korean it's called 과거 진행, 과거 진행 형. Okay, I had to look that up in the dictionary to make sure that it wasn't wrong. But yeah, 과거 진행 형, which I think is, I don't even know what it's called, so I'm not even gonna try. But like was ing, all right, that tense. And in Korean, this will mean 뭐뭐뭐 하는 줄, 뭐뭐뭐 하는 줄 알았어. All right. So that's actually what I said before. Let me just write that. 뭐뭐 하는 줄 알았어. So actually, let's look at our third example from the previous kind of set. I thought that it rained means 비가 온 줄 알았어. So how would you say 비가 오는 줄 알았어? Well, in this case, you would say I thought it was raining. Okay, I thought it was raining. So here we are changing the tense. Instead of just I thought it rained, we are using this 과거 진행형 tense. All right, I thought it was raining, which is actually kind of a useful phrase because I don't know, if you bring your umbrella somewhere and then it's not raining, people might ask you, why did you bring your umbrella? Oh, I thought it was raining, so I brought my umbrella. Okay, and in Korean, like I said, this will mean 비가 오는 줄 알았어. All right, so there's one more way to use this structure. So I'm going to go down and we're going to look at the last way to use this structure. And in this case, we're going to be using it not with just the past, but with actually the future. So we will say, I thought that plus subject, verb, and then object. Here I'm putting the verb in orange because that means that you should put the verb in the future tense, in Korean 미래. All right, and in Korean this will translate to 뭐뭐 할 줄 알았어. Okay, but you have to be careful because actually the future tense that you use in this structure is a little bit different from the normal future tense. So you would say actually I thought it was going to rain. I thought that it was going to rain. So actually it was going to rain is just future tense. So let me just underline that in orange. It was going to do something is future, right? Is one of the ways to say future tense. But you could also say I thought it would rain. I thought that it would rain. All right. So here we are using kind of the conditional tense, I guess. I don't know. This must be some weird future in the past tense. But anyway, if I'm confusing you, don't worry too much about that. Just kind of stick to the Korean translation. You know, both of these examples will mean what? 비가 올 줄 알았어. All right. And you can use either one. You could say was going to or would to express the future here. Okay. You cannot say I thought it will rain. This is wrong. So I'm going to write it, but then I'm going to cross it out. Don't say this. For some reason we cannot do this. So don't do this. All right. If you want to say 뭐뭐 할 줄 알았어, you have to either use was going to or would. All right, so that is pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about in today's lesson. It's a little bit complicated learning this structure, but once you actually start using it and hearing it in normal kind of natural situations, I think it's actually not that hard to get used to. And remember that when you say that, I thought it was going to rain means like in the end, it did not rain. Or I thought it was raining means actually it is not raining. If you say, I thought that it rained means actually it did not rain. He thought I was a student. Actually, I'm not a student. I thought you were sick. Actually, you aren't sick. Because in Korean, actually, 한 줄 알았어요. 한 줄 알았어요 has two meanings. And they're translated differently in English. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in the next video. So if you keep watching, you can find out more kind of about this structure. All right. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you understood it, everything, and I will see you next time.